Republican sore loser Kari Lake announced this week that she is prepared once again to lose the 2022 Arizona gubernatorial race because she is apparently just a glutton for punishment. Now, as we all know, last week, Kari Lake lost her lawsuit. And this was the lawsuit that had been tossed out by the lower court eventually, tossed out by the appellate court, and then mostly tossed out by the state Supreme Court, except for one particular issue about the ballot signature verification in Maricopa County that the Arizona Supreme Court sent back down to the lower court. Now, that's the case she lost last week. And actually, that doesn't even include, the court cases that she lost before the election, when she had already filed a lawsuit alleging the election had been stolen from her before the election even took place. And that one, of course, was thrown out because the court said you can't file a lawsuit against something that didn't happen, that couldn't even have happened yet. So she has lost half a dozen lawsuits trying to overturn the results of the Arizona election even before the election happened. And of course, she lost the actual election. But this week, Kari Lake came out right before she was set to do a rally, of course, because it's all about fame and publicity for her. Came out and announced that, God dog it, she is ready to lose again. And she has had her attorneys file a notice of appeal of the suit that they lost last week. But, she says this time it's totally going to be different because this time, she says, they actually have evidence. Now, worth pointing out that all of the other times this case has been thrown out, even when it's been allowed to proceed, the judges have literally told Kari Lake and her legal team, you guys don't have any evidence to back up any of your claims. In fact, the judge said that before last week's trial took place, and then again after when he tossed her claims, because he started it by saying, you have no evidence, and ended it by saying, you still have no evidence. Get the hell out of my courtroom. But Kari Lake says, well, guess what? Now we've got evidence, she says. It's video, she claims, of malfeasance in Maricopa County. Cool. It's already been determined by the courts that no shenanigans took place in Maricopa County, so I don't know what you have video of, but it's definitely not what you're saying it is. But you know what? At this point, I can't fault Kari Lake. She's just exploiting the court system. The court allows for these appeals, so that's what she's doing. And the reason I say the court allows for these appeals is because the Arizona State Supreme Court that already said Kari Lake had no evidence whatsoever and that she made all this crap up is the one that allowed her to send it back to the lower court. The lower court, upon the initial hearing to decide whether or not to even grant it a new trial, could have said right then, no, because you have no evidence. The judge did say you have no evidence, but fuck it, I'm going to let you do it anyway. And if the judge hadn't made that idiotic decision to begin with, we wouldn't be in this situation where Arizona taxpayers are going to be out another couple tens of thousands of dollars because Kari Lake just wants to appeal it and run up the legal fees for the state. Because the Arizona State Supreme Court, by the way, already said that the state can't get their legal fees back from Kari Lake. Now, I also have to find this incredibly stupid because Kari Lake's lawyers, the ones handling this new appeal, have already been sanctioned. So these lawyers are now at risk of getting sanctioned again. And to be honest, I hope the court just pops them each for $1 million. You know what? Make it $5 million because you're carrying on this charade. Everybody involved in this has dirty hands at this point, except the state, of course. You know, the defendants in this case. But this is ridiculous. Kari Lake is a loser in every possible sense of that word. She is a friggin' loser. But the courts are allowing her to continue to lose over and over again and then not allowing the state to get their legal fees back. So she may be losing, but the courts are making the entire state an even bigger loser than Kari Lake is. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.